Hey you guys, this is Bowman from Watch, Talk, and Act, and hopefully you guys like these videos. I'm gonna just react to random videos. Let me know in the comment section what videos you want me to watch. It can be anything, it doesn't matter. Whether it be video games, bloopers, whatever. We're gonna watch, react, and act. I should say watch, talk, and act. I don't know why I said react. But anyway, watch, talk, act. And the very first video I want to talk about is a woman explains why men don't approach women anymore. So, without further ado, I shouldn't even say further ado. Let's just watch this video, y'all, and we're gonna go from there.
And she's like, oh my gosh, me and my friends went out and nobody was like trying to get at us. Nobody showed interest, nobody anything. And a guy duetted it or stitched it, and he actually said, well, look what you women have done. Like, this is what you wanted, correct? So I want to piggyback off of that. Ladies, y'all, not all of y'all, but you guys wanted this whole, oh, leave us alone, you guys are perverts, you guys are weirdos, like, we hate men thing. You guys are on this fucking bandwagon to, like, you hate men. What is the fucking goal of this? What is the point of this? Because you know what you guys are doing? You're ruining it for the women who do want to be approached. You're ruining it for the women who are shy and do want that guy to come up to them. Does that make sense? And you also are ruining it for the guys who are great guys, have great intentions. Maybe they're just nervous when they come up to you, so they're shy and like anxious, and you take that as them being a pervert or a weirdo. Where does this lead up to? Like, I honestly want to know what the whole point of this is, because at this point, it's going to come to a nobody wants to come up to you, nobody's going to talk to you, nobody's going to try with you, and everybody's going to be thinking, damn, he's not interested in me. So ladies, you guys wanted men to back down from it, so are you guys going to step up to the plate? Are you guys going to start asking guys out? No. Are you guys going to start going up to dudes and saying, hey, let me take you out to dinner? How about you come over to my place at 8 o'clock and I'll have dinner made for you? What's your favorite food to eat? I'll make it for you. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but my whole point of this is I'm not understanding the whole I hate men movement, because in the end, what does this do for us? Especially like if you have kids and you have sons, you're teaching your sons to hate men because you hate men? I don't get that. Like, can somebody like explain this to me? Because I really don't get how this is all working out in anybody's favor. Because I feel bad for all the good guys that are out there, and then I feel bad for the women who are very shy and want a guy to approach them, but now there's guys not approaching them because of women who have ruined this whole little thing.
There you have it. Interesting. For me, to be honest with you, I'm not scared to approach women at all. But in today's society, I can understand why a lot of men are afraid, because sometimes it doesn't pay, For instance, you have this whole Me Too movement, also sexual harassment, harassment. I know you remember a few years back with the catcalling situation. A man just can't be a man anymore. But there's one particular reason why it's like that. You have to understand something. You have a small group of people who are in power who really don't want you to procreate. So that's what we're struggling with, people. This has to do with depopulation, period. And if you notice it, a lot of people aren't really procreating as much anymore. Especially here in America. A lot of people aren't procreating anymore like they're supposed to. Or like you would expect them to. I mean, we can go as far as back to, the women's rights movements, in the mid part of the 1900s, where women waving their bras and throwing them, talking about, wanting to be equal to their men. And then these, no offense, these were Caucasian women. And for me being a black male, they came to our black women, wanting black women to, basically play hot potato with them. They hot potatoed the idea, but to the point where, in my community, the black man was casted aside. And of course, when you don't have that family structure, like you should have with the male and female, that balance, that yin and that yang, it causes destruction. Now, as a whole here in America, the male and female dynamic, the minds are being made to be backwards. It's not the same anymore. Everybody's getting it. And we can blame women. We can blame men. We can play the blame game, but you have to understand, the button's being pushed by men. And women are the teachers. They're the first teachers that we have. You have to understand, it's a cold game out here, guys. This is not just a It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault, woman. It's your fault, man. It goes beyond that. You have some people who are in some evil mamma jammas in this world. And that's what it really boils down to. It doesn't, it does matter to a degree about race, but it doesn't. That's more of a, when we're talking about race, of course for those who are in power, they don't want, obviously people with certain skin color to, rule. But at the end of the day, they don't want that many people on the earth either, because you can't control everybody. That's just the reality of the situation. So you have depopulation, whether you're using homosexuality, whether you're using male against female, things like that. Where you're using race, because race can play a part in who you want to have sex with too. Please believe. Please believe. And so it makes it very hard for male and females to come together, because we can't agree on who we want to be with, who we want to sex, who we want to build a legacy with, ultimately. And that's the very unfortunate part about this life, because it's not always fair. It's not always fair. But you have to be able to make do with the best of what you got, people. And that is the reality. So, women, if you aren't being approached, just understand, people like the Rockefellers who put money into the women's movement, who wanted to destroy the family structure, and were successful at it. You had programs such as, like food stamps, things like that, public housing, or should I say not necessarily public housing, but where if you do get housing from the government, the man can't be into the home. That's the reality. So guess what happens? You depend upon the state in order to take care of you and your children. You no longer need a man in the house, because they're feeding you, they're housing you, and so on and so forth. It's a tragedy. It's a cold game out here, but you have these people who work to do this to you. So when we're talking about modern day 2021 and males and female relationships being tarnished, this is where it all begins. So keep your eye on the ball, pay very close attention, read, and guess what? Create solutions, people. You can't just point the finger constantly. You have to understand, okay, the problem starts with me. And you go from there. So you guys, I'm going to end it there with this video. I could go deeper, but it's not worth it. It's just a lot. The human condition is repetitive. There's nothing new under the sun. Always remember that. Nothing new under the sun. The more things change, the more they stay the same, people. Always remember that. But it's up to you to change your mind on how you want things to eventually play out. Alright, so that's it. Watch, talk, and act. And don't just act, people. Act and create a solution. Peace.